Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we got a mega fight brewing on the horizon, that being junior middleweight world champion, WBC world champion, who regained his world title this past Saturday when he defeated Tony Harrison. Jermell Charlo regained his WBC belt, dropping Tony Harrison 3 times and ultimately stopping him in the 11th round to regain his title in dramatic fashion. Now, we have another fight brewing, a mega fight in the junior middleweight division, as Julian J. Rock Williams will be taking on Rosario January 18th in his hometown of Philadelphia, en route to this mega unification showdown with Jermell Charlo, and we know that there's a storyline there, right? The storyline being Julian J. Rock Williams fought Jermell Charlo's twin brother, Jermell Charlo, when he was still campaigning at the 54-pound division. Now Big Charlo has campaigned, and he's the WBC undefeated world champion at the middleweight, the full-blown middleweight division, right? But nonetheless, there was a lot of build-up to Jermell Charlo versus Julian J. Rock Williams, which saw Julian J. Rock Williams get stopped in that fight. Jermell Charlo knocked him out. But leading up into that fight, there was a lot of talk of Jermell Charlo was moving up in weight to 160, and it seemed like he was avoiding Julian J. Rock Williams, who was his mandatory. And right before he moved up, he said, you know something, if people feel like I'm avoiding this guy and people feel like I'm scared of Julian J. Rock Williams, then I'm going to stay here for one more fight and give y'all that fight. And that's exactly what Jermell Charlo did. That was his last fight at 54. He then moved up to 60, and we know the rest right now. He knocked out Julian J. Rock Williams. But then Julian J. Rock Williams bounced back now and defeating then unified junior middleweight world champion Swift Jarrett Hurd in dramatic fashion in his own backyard in the DMV. Dropped him in the fight, hurt him in the fight, and seemed to outclass him in the fight, point blank and period, right? Showed a lot of grit, showed a lot of movement, showed a high ring IQ, showed boxing ability, showed defense, right? He showed that he could work through adversity. And so, that was a showcase fight for Julian J. Rock Williams. And now, Jermell Charlo just had his revenge fight over Tony Harrison, and he did so in dramatic fashion. And now they're on a collision course for a unification bout, as Julian J. Rock Williams holds the WBA belt. He holds the he holds the IBF, he holds the WBA, and he holds the IBO, right? Jermell Charlo holds the WBC. So this is going to be a mega fight, right? He holds the IBF, he holds the WBA, and he holds the IBO, right? And this is going to be a mega fight for unification. And I'm hoping that, this fight takes place in Brooklyn, as it's only an hour and a half from Philadelphia, and Jermell and Jermell Charlo regularly fight at the Barclays Center. So this would be a huge fight there, right? Both could attract huge crowds, and it's possibly a pay-per-view event. But nonetheless, let's get down to the skill and the breakdown of this fight. We saw Tony Harrison show that, you could back Jermell Charlo up and have success backing him up and countering him, right? But Jermell Charlo did fight with his emotions because there was a lot of taunting and there was a lot of back and forth in the build-up to this fight. So he came out from the opening bell, he threw a bomb. He tried to land big on him immediately. He wanted to knock him out, right? But is he going to fight that way against Julian J. Rock Williams? He's going to stay behind his jab. He got to stay, disciplined, right? And both. So it's going to be a high-level chess match. Who has the better footwork? I think that Julian J. Rock Williams may have the better footwork, but I think that Jermell Charlo has the power advantage, and he could box. Jermell Charlo could definitely box. He has a beautiful jab. And he was tagging Tony Harrison to the body. But like we saw with Julian J. Rod Williams, he has all types of different tools in the toolbox. He could box on the back foot. He could box coming forward. He could counter you, and he could bang. If he need be, he could be a dog. See, people forget that he was having success against Jermall Charlo because all they see was the highlight knockout, the catch and shoot. Jermall caught his punch and countered him. Boop. Beautiful. Beautiful combination, right? And so with that said, that's what people see. They fail to remember that he had success in that fight. And so this is going to be a high-level chess match. A high-level chess match. And I can't wait. This is going to be one of the best fights in 2020, hands down. And like I said, I hope it takes place at the Barclays Center because it's a familiar arena and place for Jermell and Jermall Charlo. We know they're from Houston. They're not from New York. But they campaign and they fight in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn often. And Julian J. Rod Williams is right up the road from New York. He's from Philadelphia, two hours at max, right? So he could get his whole support team, his whole following to come down and support it. And this would absolutely be enormous as it's for Unification bout, right? Man, I can't wait to see how this fight plays out. Now, obviously, anything can happen in the sport of boxing, and we can't count out Rosario. He only has one loss. But I'm highly expecting Julian J. Rod Williams to defeat and be victorious in that fight, in the showcase fight in his own backyard in Philadelphia. And him versus Jermell Charlo is going to be enormous. The storyline, the build-up. Everything is going to be about him facing Big Charlo and get knocked out by Jermall Charlo. That's going to be the talk of the build-up. Can he get redemption against Jermell Charlo, right? Is Jermell Charlo going to be able to do what Jermall did? It's a lot of expectations and pressure on Jermell Charlo. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on Julian J. Rod Williams to perform. So this is going to be enormous. And I don't know how it's going to play out, but Julian J. Rod Williams is going to have to use angles. He's going to have to be very cautious. He's going to have to be very disciplined and be able to avoid Jermell Charlo's power. And I believe that he has the better footwork. So his footwork can offset what Jermell Charlo does great, right? He gets on the inside. He has an educated jab. He sets you up for his power. But he can box. But is Julian Williams going to have his best success backing Jermell up? Is Jermell going to be able to, counter Julian J. Rod Williams and cut the ring off on him? He was having trouble cutting the ring off on Tony Harrison the first fight. The second fight, Tony Harrison came right to him and was pushing him back, backing him up the entire fight. But he found a way. He always seems to find a way. And so this is huge. This is going to be enormous. And I can't wait to see how it plays out. But let me know what y'all think, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the Empress. Much love.